Welcome to the Partnership for Food Protection's Mythbusters. In this video, we will be focusing on information sharing, a key part of the system that protects the nation's food supply. To understand information sharing, it helps to understand the integrated food safety system. So let's start with some basics. The Integrated Food Safety System, or IFSS, is the nation's approach to ensuring and addressing the safety of human and animal food. The IFSS has many participants: human and animal food regulatory agencies, laboratories, public health professionals, and everyone in between, and they all play vital roles in the system. Transparency, clarity of information, and communication are key to ensuring that all the parts of the system work together effectively. To help illustrate how we all work together to achieve an IFSS, the Partnership for Food Protection, or PFP, presents its first in a series of Mythbuster videos. In this video, we will focus on information sharing, a cornerstone of the IFSS. We're going to specifically focus on how the U.S. Food and Drug Administration shares information with its regulatory partners. The FDA and many public health agencies need to exchange information in both their routine work and in the event of a foodborne incident or outbreak. In the case of outbreaks or emergency situations, the ability to do so with minimal delay is of the utmost importance. There are two primary avenues by which the FDA shares information with state, local, territorial, and other partner agencies: commissioning and 2088 confidentiality agreements. What are commissions and 2088 agreements? FDA commissions are granted to specific individuals for the purposes of conducting contract inspections or for sharing vital non-public information. Commissioned individuals receive either a laminated ID, referred to as pocket credentials, or a certificate of commission. Commissioned individuals with pocket credentials may collect samples, conduct inspections and investigations, and review documents under an FDA partnership agreement or contract, even if the official's own jurisdiction does not provide such authority. Commissioned employees with only a certificate of commission may not collect samples or conduct inspections and investigations. However, they may review and receive certain pieces of FDA information usually considered confidential and not releasable to the general public. In contrast to commissions, 2088 agreements are established between the FDA and entire agencies or divisions. 2088 agreements are sometimes also referred to as Information Sharing Agreements, or ISAs. All employees under the authority of the signatory, usually the head of a public health or regulatory agency, are covered by the agreement unless otherwise specified. An FDA commission allows for a more complete sharing of information, but 2088s are broader in scope. The uses and applications of these information sharing mechanisms can be confusing, so let's get into some common information sharing myths and clarify how the FDA uses these tools.
I need to be commissioned or to be covered by a 2088 to receive response, recall, outbreak, or other related information from the FDA.
If the information is public, then all agencies and the general public have access to the data. You do not need to be commissioned or covered by a 2088 agreement. Public information includes Class 1 recall reports or finalized FDA lab results from a foodborne outbreak. However, if the information is considered non-public information, the agency or individuals must be covered by either a commission or a 2088 agreement as appropriate. What is meant by non-public information? Various types of information are defined as non-public in federal laws and are thereby legally protected from unauthorized disclosure. These include deliberative or pre-decisional information, personal protected information, confidential commercial information, and trade secrets. Deliberative or pre-decisional information includes draft regulations, intra-agency documents discussing information gathering or processes, and outbreak investigation updates. Personal protected information, or PPI, includes personally identifiable information, such as employee names and contact information. Confidential commercial information, or CCI, is defined as valuable data or information used in a business which is customarily held in strict confidence. This includes items such as business documents related to production, distribution, and quality assurance. An example of confidential commercial information is a customer distribution list. A trade secret is any plan, formula, process, or device used for making, preparing, compounding, or processing of commodities, and with a direct relationship to the manufacturing methods and processes. An example of a trade secret is a product formula. Knowing what type of information is going to be shared is central in determining what type of information sharing mechanism is used. Commissioning allows individuals to receive both CCI and trade secret information. In contrast, those covered by 2088 agreements can only receive confidential commercial information. There are additional options for obtaining federal information. Agencies can submit a Freedom of Information Act request or rely on publicly available information such as news releases. There is an expedited process for processing state agency Freedom of Information Act requests.
The FDA cannot share non-public information during a rapid response situation, such as multi-state outbreak or large-scale Class 1 recalls, if the state or territorial agency does not have a current 2088 agreement.
If the agency has commissioned individuals, they can receive information with the same privilege as FDA employees. Therefore, these individuals can immediately obtain non-public information during rapid response situations without review or redaction, including confidential commercial information. Additionally, the FDA can administer 2088 agreements to a small number of named individuals within an agency on a case-specific basis. In order for the FDA to share non-public information under a 2088 agreement, there must be a written statement establishing that the organization has the authority to protect confidential commercial information from disclosure, as well as a written commitment that the organization will not further disclose any such information that it has received from the FDA.
I must have FDA pocket credentials in order to conduct FDA contract inspections or review information and documents related to inspections.
If a state agency has adopted or written regulations that are regulatory equivalents to FDA's federal regulations, then FDA contract inspections can be conducted under state regulatory authority and confidentiality requirements. Under these circumstances, state officials are authorized to handle inspectional documents that may contain non-public information. Commissions with FDA pocket credentials are only required in cases where FDA contracts include inspections for which a state has no equivalent authority. For example, some states may adopt GMP or preventative control regulations, but not LACF or seafood or juice HACCP regulations. If the state conducts those type of inspections under an FDA contract, then an FDA commission with credentials will be required in order to complete them.
The FDA can't share non-public information with personnel at local health departments.
The FDA can share non-public information with a state, local, or territorial agency's commissioned or 2088 covered individuals. Where local health departments are under the authority of the state or territorial agency, they are considered to fall under the 2088 agreement signed by that top-level agency. These centralized agencies can then continue the chain of information sharing with their local agencies as necessary. However, individuals must be commissioned to receive trade secret information, since this is not covered by 2088 agreements. For states or territories with decentralized or home rule organization, where agencies do not report to a central state or territorial agency, the FDA can share information directly with departments that are covered by their own 2088 agreement or with commission personnel within these agencies.
The FDA cannot share inspectional information with state, local, or territorial partners until the FDA's Office of the Chief Counsel or other FDA legal advisors have reviewed and cleared it for release.
As previously discussed, commissioned individuals are given the same access to non-public information as FDA employees. This means they can receive inspectional information immediately without legal review. We've presented a lot of information on a complex topic, but there are a wealth of additional resources for more knowledge. Want to learn more? Here are some recommended resources. The PFP's best practices for improving FDA and state communications during recalls can be located at the PFP's website at www.pfp-ifss.org. Click on IFSS Resources. For general information and for specific 2088 and commissioning guidance documents and forms, visit the FDA's Office of Partnerships website at www.fda.gov/regulatory partners. Click on Resources for Regulatory Partners, then on Communications and Outreach. The Partnership for Food Protection, mutual reliance for a safer food supply.